What's up, guys? I know it's been a while, and the reason for that is because I've been in a deep state of thought and fundamentally transforming the type of content that I'm going to focus on because the way that we've been just focusing and obsessing about all the problems of the world is kind of counterproductive, especially with what's happening right now, which is something that really affects everybody, which is that the government seems to be trying to inflate away the debt that it's incurred over the last, oh, what, 50 years now? So instead of focusing on the problems of the world, I'm going to start obsessing about opportunities to combat against the inflation or the inflating away of the debt. So, like, you notice how you look at the stock market and it like just doesn't even make sense where it is compared to where it was like 5, 10, 20 years ago. Like the rate of growth that it's had isn't consistent with anything that we've seen before. And I mean, to be quite honest with you, people like, people are acting like it'll never go down again in a serious way. Same with the housing market. And I mean, that's never been true before. But the reason that it, I guess, might be true is if like the government is kind of just tapping out and afraid of the consequences of what would happen if they were to let it recede even just a little bit. Like, think about the amount of panic that we saw just in 2022 where we had a little, I think, 20% dip. Like, people are like, oh my god, trillions of dollars are being wiped out every day, like institutions are collapsing, the Fed needs to cut rates immediately, blah 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 blah. But with the way that wealth is concentrated with BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street, and all of our retirement accounts are with those guys. I mean, the way that money is, I guess, what congregated to them, they're able to do a little drip, 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 just send money to the index funds every day, week, month to keep it a nice steady pace of incline. So I mean, I think we're in uncharted territory with within the last couple hundred years with trying to inflate away the debt. But all this is to say that I think it's much more worth our time to be focused on opportunities instead of problems. And I mean, for our own self interest, like we, it sucks to say, but yeah, like we shouldn't be obsessing about things that we can't control when like we're getting just financially decimated. Like, think about this: the price of gold, or excuse me, the dollar has lost 50% of its value against gold over the last 3 years. So, like, we don't think of gold as money, but you can say the same thing about housing. The dollar has lost probably 30% of its value against the housing market in the last 3 years, probably 50% in the last 5 years. So, you got to look at things like that. And yeah, I think collectively it's a better use of all of our time to be obsessed about those type of things. So I'm going to be focusing a lot more on financial matters, studying how successful people got rich, like in great detail. And I'm tired. I'm over it. Like, I'm tired of this, like talking about the stuff that everybody's talking about. Like, I despise what happened to Charlie Kirk, but the government seems to have its like fake story that it wants to tell us, and like it's crazy to me that even Trump is going along with that. But like, what the hell is it going to do for us to keep harping about that? Like I said before the other day on the other show, that it feels like the same powerful force that did Butler, Pennsylvania, did Kirk, and the government has no appetite to talk about it. They want to move on quickly. So, I mean, just looking out for our own self-interests, let's all just go ahead and get extremely wealthy, and then maybe we could do something about it, because we're not going to do anything about it, like being in a situation of vulnerability or weakness by having like a average net worth. It's I think the founders, was it the founders? The founders said that if the lower class wants to change the government, they can't do anything about it. If the middle class wants to change the government, they could potentially do something about it. But if the upper class is unhappy with the government, they could overthrow the government like within a day. And all the founders of America were rich people. So the point of that is to say, I heard somebody say this at the Vault conference a couple weeks ago. They said that the best thing that could happen for the world is for there to be 1 billion self-made millionaires. And I totally agree. Totally agree. Like it's like a law of nature that wealth and success like kind of concentrates to a small percentage, but it's gone from like 80-20 to like 99-1. And that's because, like, don't forget, like the richest dude in the world created the education system that convinced people that they should be just a wage slave for their entire life and they should be like a factory worker and have that type of mindset. So we probably lost a good 19 out of that 20% because of stuff like that. But I think it's more powerful, more potent, more important to reverse that trend than it is to try to expose and understand things that even the US government is afraid to expose and understand and talk about. So I just wanted to give you an update on why it took a couple weeks for me to start posting on here again, because I was really thinking about what the best use of our bandwidth is like in the coming months and years and decades. And I think for the immediate future, this is it. Like we have to put ourselves in a position of strength, and then we could make things happen. We can make changes. Because when we rely on one person, we get let down. Like Trump's done some good things, Elon Musk has done some good things, but they've also let us down in a lot of ways too. So we got to stop leaning on other people and collectively put ourselves in a position of strength. So that said, the channel's going to take a bit of a little different tone in the immediate future, but I think you will thoroughly enjoy it. So I'll see you guys soon. I miss talking to you. Leave a comment below if you want to share your thoughts on what I'm saying. And guys, as always, much love.